motherfuckers! You know what I hate? I hate when you think you're eating organic vegetables, but it turns out to be just regular donuts. My coach told me I should start with an icebreaker. She also told me to smile more. All right, moving on. I'm a modern man, a man for the millennium, digital and smoke-free, a diversified, multicultural, postmodern deconstructionist, politically, anatomically, and ecologically incorrect. I've been uplinked and downloaded, I've been inputted and outsourced. I know the upside of downsizing, I know the downside of upgrading. I'm a high-tech lowlife, a state-of-the-art, bi-closed-down multitasker, and I can give you a gigabyte in a nanosecond. These are the words by George Carlin in his 2007 HBO comedy special, A Life Worth Losing. Now, although these words are satirical, they do give an accurate idea of how society expects every single person to be. And anybody that falls outside of societal norms is therefore considered weird, bizarre, odd, Andrew. I don't know. Well, I'm here today to tell you, stop letting outside influences dictate your life. And I'm going to compass that idea today with 3 main points sandwiched between a bunch of awesome-ass jokes. Now, with these jokes, you're either going to love them, or you're going to hate them, or you're going to think they're okay. You love them so far. We're on a roll. All right. Point number 1 being, stop letting outside influences make you fearful of meaningless things. Point number 2, stop letting outside influences skew your better judgment. And point number 3, it is possible to break free from outside influences, and I'll let you know how by my own personal story. Yes, point number 3 is a personal story. Yes, point number 3 probably won't be as funny. Yes, I'm aware you're not supposed to do that in STE. You might as well write that down now. Next to the 4. No, I'm joking, don't write the 4. Crazy. What is he talking about? It's crazy. I want the one, I want the one, I want the goal. That's what matters most to me. Speaking of things that really matter in an STE, let me walk over here to this side of the room to make the first point. Before I start, can I please, at the first STE, do you think like one judge was talking to another and was like, that's a really good speech, but it could really use a big fucking triangle. The Egyptians are doing it. It's working out well for them. I'm a communication major. Stop writing triangles on my ballots. I'm tired of seeing geometric shapes. We put a lot of fear into meaningless things, don't we? Things like celebrities, right? We love celebrities. We worship the Kardashians, who became famous because somebody forgot to hide their sex tape. Really? Ooh, really? I mean, is that not why they're famous? The Catch Me Outside girl who became famous because she yelled at some audience member. Or Post Malone who became famous because he looks like the 1% of bacteria that the Clorox wipe couldn't kill. But we also put a lot of emphasis on fearing meaningless things. It's the truth. In 2018, the Washington Post said that public speaking is the world's most feared phobia. That means that more people are scared to do what I'm doing now than they are of heights, planes, roller coasters, drowning, burning, zombies, ghosts, vampires, werewolves, and the price of Disneyland admission. That's nuts. Like we're all afraid like somebody's going to judge us when we public speak. Who would be stupid enough to sit down and judge somebody while they public speak? I'd ring your bell myself if I could. It's all right. I appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, man. No 4. We're also scared of superstition. We're scared of bad luck. Superstition is the weirdest thing to be scared of, because that means we're scared just in case. Anybody here on the 13th floor? 13th floor, anybody? No, you're not. You know why? There is no 13th floor. Destination America said that hotels across the country have pulled the 13th floor because the number 13 represents bad luck, and people are scared of bad luck. But if you're on the 14th floor, you're on the 13th floor. The 14th floor should be considered bad luck. Think about it. If you fell outside the 14th floor window, not only will you still die, but you'll probably die about a second and a half sooner than you thought you would. Talk about bad luck. Speaking of bad luck, let's talk about the current status of our country. I really feel our judgment has been skewed lately. Sometime before the last election, a couple people got together and said, you know what? The Syrian missile crisis is very complex. But if there's one man who can decipher it, it's a failed reality TV star who filed bankruptcy while running a casino. That's a Trump joke. In an STE. You'll never see anybody do that. It's not just politics. Did you know that APAC.org says right now there are 63 different genders? 63 different... Listen, I gotta say this right now. I am all about LGBTQ rights, but that is a shitload of bathrooms. We're worried about building a wall. We need to worry about who's going to build all these goddamn bathrooms. And I know what you're thinking. Hey, good-looking guy in the front. Thank you for that, by the way. Hey, good-looking guy in the front. Do you have a list of all 63 genders? Well, no, that would be stupid. I committed them all to memory, though. I can't go over it today because, time restraints, so I'll be doing it later this year in Alabama. Oh, wait. Oh. Some of y'all don't get that. You will. And we love our challenges in this country, right? I can imagine the phone call between two friends that come over right now with your Tide Pods and your camera and no time to explain. According to the Daily Dot, 2018 gave birth to challenges like the Tide Pod Challenge, where people would literally eat Tide Pods out of the container. The Hot Water Challenge, where you would take boiling water and throw it on your loved ones. The Condom Challenge, where you would suck in a condom in one nostril and pull it out the other. Just recently, we had the Cheese Challenge. You'll probably see videos like this all the time right now. People are literally hawking Kraft singles in the faces of their newborn babies. It's funny, though. Kids are all like, and who could forget the In My Feelings Challenge? People would be dancing outside moving cars. Kiki, do you love me? I'm gonna get hit by a Chevy. Well, I wanted to sing more, but I accidentally danced to my third point. The good news is, about the current status of our country, current status of ourselves, is that every single day that you wake up, you have the potential to change yourself or the world around you. For example, when I was a child, I got called ugly all the time. Nowadays, women find out how much money I make, so now I'm ugly and broke. Well, thank you for laughing at my physical and monetary instabilities. Dale Carnegie said that today is the tomorrow that you worried about yesterday. And Les Brown said that somebody's opinion of you never has to become your reality. This has never been more true than the time my wife and I were trying to conceive our own children. And after many years of failed attempts, the doctor sat us down and said, the problem lies in severe oligospermia. Severe oligospermia. Oligospermia. Spermia. So naturally, it was the wife's fault. I'll contest that to this day, because maybe my sperm were just too scared to go around her nagging eggs. Are you sure yet? What's taking so long? My wife actually has to come to the SD. I'm like, no, babe, you stay home. Like, why? Are you doing impressions of me? No, baby, I swear I'm not doing impressions. My wife and I decided we weren't going to let somebody's opinion of us become our reality. And on December 19th of 2016, my wife gave birth to 3 beautiful babies. Woo. I was told I would never have one baby of my own, and ended up having triplets. I mean, let that sink in. Sorry, that was money well spent. Moving on. I call my wife, "You're right, baby, she didn't laugh." Now, of course, with everything, you have to take the good with the bad. And I remember in the fall of 2017, all 3 of my babies got sick. They came down with something called RSV. Now, the Center for Disease Control describes RSV as affecting 57,000 children every year, with a 1% mortality rate. Now that the boring statistic is out of the way, let's continue on with the story. All 3 of my babies ended up going to the hospital, and 2 came out, while 1 stayed behind for further observation. And while everything seemed to be on the mend, on Thanksgiving evening of 2017, I got a call from the doctor that said, "We're doing CPR on your son. You need to come to the hospital now." I am not a medical professional. However, if a doctor tells you to come to the hospital because they're performing CPR on somebody you love, chances are really good you're not going over there to help. And I knew I was going there to say goodbye. I remember walking into his room, and my eyes met the nurse's eyes, with tears in her eyes, and she said, "We did everything that we could." My son David was the youngest of the triplets by 1 minute. He was the first one to talk, he loved to laugh, and his favorite word was Dada. I miss my son very much, and while I can do nothing to bring him back, I can tell his story, hoping that the audience, when it's your time to pass, you too can say that you did everything that you could. It was at my son's funeral, after I gave his eulogy, that the funeral director came up to me and said, "You need to stop doing whatever you're doing and consider becoming a motivational speaker instead." And she's the reason I'm in front of you today. Not only is breaking free possible, but it's necessary. So today we talked about how we don't need to let outside influences make you fearful of meaningless things, not to let you skew your judgment, and how it's possible to break free from outside influences. I understand that an STE or ADS is generally funny and lighthearted, and yes, I'm aware that there are risks with going this route. However, I believe that a speech centered around the idea of not letting others tell you what to do requires the speaker to march to the beat of a different drum. It was Edward Allen Eaton that said, "Go not to where the path may lead, but instead go to where there is no path and leave behind you a trail." I hope the world will one day find yours.